Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. It's a good day for coffee. It's always a good day for coffee. Have you guys heard this song? This is Adoration by Matt Maher. I figured this was a good time to pull out my favorites while I'm just hanging on, waiting for people to join. Okay, let me turn him off. All right, so something happened that prompted me to make this video. I think that's kind of how it always works. There's always something that happens that prompts me to make a video. Anyway, something happened today, and I thought that would make a good video. So I know that I have talked about soap nuts before. I even did a post sometime in the last year about how we make our soap nuts and how we save a ton of money using them. And we've been using them probably 5 or 6 years, at least, maybe longer. I don't know. We've been using them a long time. And I've been pretty happy with them, mostly because they were so stinking cheap. And so anyway, that's why I made that post, because a lot of people had asked me questions about them. And so I made a post just sharing how I make the liquid soap nuts and how I store it and all of that. So shortly after I made that video, oh, my connection is weak. Let me see if I can turn off my Wi-Fi. Okay, hopefully we're okay now. So shortly after I made that video, my daughter got this really weird shirt with a dog on it. But anyway, the shirt was totally white and it just had this dog. And I put it in the washer to wash it for her to wear the first time, because we always wash clothes before we wear them the first time. I put it in the washer. I put it in with all whites. I put in my soap nuts, and it came out, and it was really not white anymore. And that was pretty disappointing, because it was brand new and it was super white when I put it in. So that was kind of my first moment where I thought, I don't know about this. So previously I had thought that my clothes were not coming out white because I was not separating them all the way, but that was not the case with this load. So I couldn't really come up with a reason that that would be what was happening. So I had no excuse for my soap nuts, basically. They kind of just failed me there. So then last month I read this article. I'll link it after I'm done doing this video. And it was entitled, "Why You Should Stop Using That Homemade Laundry Detergent, like right now." And the article was actually really interesting. And as I was reading it, I was like, oh, surely they're talking about like the one that you make with the borax and all that stuff. And I don't do that. I just use soap nuts. But I'm not sure that I feel like this would actually maybe apply. So the article goes into detail about how our washing machines are not designed to use soap. And soap is actually not what our clothes need. Our clothes need detergent. They need specific surfactants that are designed to wash fabrics. And that what we're doing with our soap, our homemade soap, is that we're gumming up the washer and we're trapping bacteria and dirt in our clothes. And so I kind of thought on that a little bit, and then I thought, well, you know, I've used Young Living has the soap that I had bought once. I basically bought it so that I would have it for a class, so I could show people what it was and how it smelled and stuff. So I'd been using it really, really occasionally because it's pretty pricey. And so I wasn't going to buy something at the store, because all of the brands I've seen at the store, and even all the other brands I've seen on Amazon, the ones that are labeled natural, were not actually natural. Most of them still had sodium lauryl sulfate, and we have some sensitive skin in our house that I just wasn't interested in using them, so I kind of just went back to the soap nuts. So anyway, after I read this article, I thought, well, I'll just maybe try the Thieves soap for a while and see how it goes. So I want to update you on something. This is the part that happened today, but let me show you something first. So if you don't know what soap nuts are and you've never heard me talk about this before, I want to show you what they look like. These are soap nuts. They kind of look like an acorn, and you buy them in bulk, and they're super, super cheap. And then you can throw them in like a little bag and put them in the washer, or you could boil them and make them into liquid soap, which is what I have always done because they go a lot further. So that's what I've done for years for our soap. The downside is it has to be refrigerated because there's no preservatives, and apparently, at least for me, doesn't work with my whites. So those are soap nuts. This is the Thieves soap. Do you see how tiny it is? Yeah, it's really tiny. And the first time I bought it, I was like, that's really tiny. And I paid kind of a lot of money for that. But it lasts forever and ever. This little teeny bottle does 64 loads. 64 regular size loads. So some of our loads are not even all the way full. Okay, so that's detergent. Hold on, we'll come back to that. This is a dryer ball. We've been using dryer balls probably about as long as we've been using soap nuts. When we decided to ditch the toxic detergents, we also ditched the dryer sheets, which are actually significantly more toxic. I think I've talked about this before, but the waxy substance in them actually builds up in your clothes, and so it's like a constant influx of toxins going into your body because they're stuck in your clothes. So we started using dryer balls, and occasionally I would throw some kind of essential oil on, but not very often. I really like my clothes to just smell clean. And so I was getting a pretty clean smell with my soap nuts. But anyway, sometimes I will put into the washer some purification because I know it's backwards. Because I have children, and anybody that has children knows that sometimes they stink. Sometimes their clothes stink. Sometimes other things stink. So what I started doing a couple weeks ago was using the Thieves soap instead of the soap nuts. So basically I waited for my soap nuts to run out from the fridge. I had several bottles. Waited for them to run out, and I started using the Thieves soap. So I want to give you a visual on how much I'm using. So again, here's the bottle. It's the size of my head. How fun is that? The amount that we put into our washer, now we have a high efficiency washer, and the amount it calls for is 1/4 of a cap of detergent. So, ready? Whoop. That's more than I use. That's, I don't know, less than an eighth of a cup. That's all we use for our laundry. So here's what happened today that prompted this video. I have a couple of kids that still wet the bed periodically, not every day, but a couple of my kids still wet the bed sometimes. And it's been a challenge this last month or so, I would say, to get that scent totally out with the soap nuts. Like, I was having to wash clothes a couple of times, and I don't know about you, but I don't have time to wash clothes a couple of times. I usually have another load waiting to go in. So that was not convenient, and that wasn't really working. And so I started using the Thieves soap, and last night we had a few kids wet the bed, and so I was washing sheets this morning, and I put in the soap, just that little amount, and then I put the sheets on, washed them on high, and as I was pulling them out, I thought, I'm pretty sure the scent is gone. I feel like it's gone-ish. Mostly, I think it's gone. I'm going to throw them in the dryer. But I thought, I'm just going to throw some purification on the dryer balls just to get out any additional soap that might be in there. So, again, dryer ball. I actually have some other ones, but these are made out of wool. For those of you who have not heard of these, they're just wool, and they're a replacement for dryer sheets, so they help with static, and they help dry your clothes a little bit faster, and they're all natural, of course. So I took my purification and my dryer balls, and I put a drop on each one. We usually use 5, just because that's what we have down there. It's not lost right now. And I put the stuff into the dryer and turned it on. So then I came back to get it, and I pulled it out. And I don't do this. I know that there are people who are like, oh, fresh laundry smell. Like I said, I don't want my clothes to really smell. I just want them to be clean smelling. I don't want them to smell like fragrances. Anyway, this is literally what I did. I went down to the basement. I pulled them out, and I wanted to make sure that the scent was gone. So I was like, oh, it smelled so good. But it smelled clean. It didn't smell like an oil. It just smelled really clean, but like cleaner than I remember my laundry smelling in a long time. So this right here, this is a fitted sheet. Someone peed on this sheet last night, and I washed it once, and now I'm burying my face in it because it smells so clean. Yeah, that makes me a freak. But here's the thing that I've noticed. My soap nuts never really did that. I thought that my clothes were smelling clean, but they didn't smell like that. They didn't smell that clean. So a few days ago, I said to my husband, obviously before this incident, because this just happened this afternoon, I said to my husband, what do you think about maybe not using the soap nuts and using the Thief soap? And he said, I mean, you know, he's my husband. He doesn't do the bulk of the laundry. He doesn't really care. And I said, I mean, obviously the soap nuts are cheaper, but I feel like they're not working quite as well as like legitimate detergent. And so he said, And so I made a determination that for a while we're going to use the Thief soap, and we'll see if we ever go back. So my hesitation on the soap was that it was so costly, but actually what I've found is that based on the amount that we use and on the fact that I'm not re-washing my clothes and based on the fact that it actually doesn't have toxic garbage in it like all the natural ones that I found on the market, this is a huge win for us. So the soap and then also the purification, you can either put this in the washer or you can put it on the dryer balls. But that's been really, really helpful for us. So if you have pets or kids or a job that is really gross, like if your husband works a job that's really gross, those smells, you know, they get stuck in your clothes. And so you might want to give this a try. The wholesale price is $28.75, I think, which I know sounds like a lot, but seriously, 64 plus loads in this little tiny head-sized bottle. I feel like someone should take a screenshot of me holding this next to my head. Don't really do that. Okay, send it to me if you did, though. So I just wanted to share that with you because I know that I've talked about soap nuts a lot and I've raved about them. And over the last several months, I've kind of started to unrave a little bit about them. So I wanted to let you in on that. That's why I might stop. Okay, let me read a couple comments before I hop off of here. I remember that you did not like the soap nuts, Vicky. Yeah, I actually felt like they were doing okay, but now that I've switched, I feel like they were doing not as well as I thought they were. I got the Young Living detergent. Yes, so it's really good on scents. And the purification is good too, and I've used that with my soap nuts before, but the combination of the two is like top notch. Yes, do try it on the dryer balls. Oh, also about the dryer balls. So Young Living has a promotion going on this month. I can't remember what the order size is. Let me know if you want to find out. Some specific order size this month will actually get you a set of dryer balls for free. And it comes with a bottle of lavender. I can't remember what the order amount is, but I'll look it up if anybody wants to know. You can get a free set of dryer balls. Yeah, it's so good. So we're going to try it out for a while. And actually what I did is because we utilize the auto ship program from Young Living, so we customize what we want, but we get an order of stuff every month. Because we do that, then we earn a lot of points back to buy free stuff. And so what I'm just doing for now is I'm using those free points for my laundry detergent. So technically I'm paying more for it, but technically I'm getting it for free. So however that works, I'm excited. So just wanted to tell you guys that if you have another natural laundry soap that you like, I would love to take a look at it. Like I said, I haven't actually found any on my own that are really free of natural stuff. But please let me know if you found one that works, that you like, and I would be open to trying that also. So that is all. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you later.